I'm Pontius, and welcome back. I could go into some long-winded background on Dune, but I have two other videos on Dune, so I'm just going to cut to the chase. About 2 years ago, I saw the first movie, and while I did have a lot of problems with its characterization of critical supporting characters, I found it to be an ultimately really good film and was hotly anticipating the hopefully better sequel. And with 3 years passing and me finally being able to watch the film, I can effectively say it's not better than the first one. And it's all really summed up perfectly in exactly one scene: Fade Rotha's birthday exhibition match. About halfway through the film, there's a gladiatorial match to introduce one of the main antagonists of the film, Fade Rotha Harkonnen, the Baron Harkonnen's chosen heir to his house, and ultimately the puppet he wishes to utilize to conquer the galaxy with, by arranging a political marriage between him and the Princess of Outer Space, and the exhibition match is an important part of this plan, showcasing Fade as a capable warrior and conqueror. And admittedly, on a surface level, it's probably one of the most impressive scenes in the movie, if not my second favorite overall. The special effects that are used in this scene are absolutely gorgeous, whether it be establishing shots of a digital arena, seamlessly cutting to composite shots where the real-life actor for Fade Rotha has a background of untold thousands of jeering and adoring fans, and that's not even counting the monochrome color palette they use to suggest the stark bleakness of Gidi Prime. It's richly textured and just generally incredibly memorable. However, once you look past still images on this scene, the cracks begin to show, with it being largely a show of power and force in which Fade is not meant to lose, in which he duels, quickly dispatches a pair of anesthetized opponents presented to him up as a gift, where the final one is, to his shock and chagrin, not drugged, and he actually has to put up a fight. In the actual novel, the scene is far more opulent, grand, and just generally richly telling of character. Fade Rotha in the novels is far more peacocking and coquettish than he is in this film, where he looks like a shaved monkey wearing David Prowse's leftovers. In the original novel, he has a eye-bleedingly loud, neon-colored onesie, which not only serves as a significant symbol of status, but it also serves as a great hider of poisoned weapons that he intends to use to cheat to win the match. Something he finds necessary to do when his opponent that he faces is in stark contrast to the movie, not only drugged, but wired up with enough amphetamines to overdose a bull elephant. It's only through cunning, sheer mastery of the talents of dueling in the far future and aforementioned cheating that he manages to win the fight. The Harkonnens themselves are a fascinating dichotomy of incredibly pragmatic, poker-faced backroom dealers, because they can bribe, cheat, steal, and blackmail their way into getting to positions of the most advantage. They're cunning, but more significantly, they know how to win friends and influence people. One tool of which they utilize is their sheer wealth, which they use not only to purchase said influence, but also the most decadent finery one can imagine. Gem-encrusted rings decorating decadently obese hands, as well as exquisitely and artisanally crafted Roman pillars and tapestries adorning a hall of slaughter in Gidi Prime's gladiatorial arena, as well as its richly opulent guest quarters for visiting dignitaries. All of this is lacking in the polished ebony intestines of Gidi Prime that Dennis the Frenchman has realized. And on a production level itself, that's just the art direction. The actual fight choreography in this movie is surprisingly solid, yet in this single point in which a character proves his worth to his uncle and the greater Imperium at large seeks to use trial by combat, he fights a pair of anesthetized opponents who practically fall over as if drunk, and the single person he faces with some degree of competence showcases only the bare minimum before being wrangled to the ground and stabbed in a attempted honorable duel. It's a viciously impressive fight in the novel, easily within the top 3 of the entire book, and in this movie, one of, if not the worst fights in the entire movie. And that's only even scratching the surface. On a base writing level, the characterization is not only inaccurate to the actual original characters, but they're just ultimately less impressive overall. The Harkonnens in these movies are about as cunning and devious as a rock, every chance given made to make them simultaneously incomprehensible and stupid. And that could be said about a lot of aspects of this movie, whether it be the heart and soul of the next chapter that Dennis might want to make, all the way to the even grander villain of the story, just not even somehow being able to afford lights for his mobile palace. Well, that's about all I want to say about Dune Part 2. I waited for it for several years, and now that I'm disappointed, I don't really have the drive to say much more. If you like it, excellent. I'm glad you're getting introduced to one of the most grand and compelling visions of the future and that science fiction has ever produced. And with that enthusiasm that this movie is lending you, I honestly and earnestly hope you take the plunge into the novels and enjoy them as well. Stay golden and see you next time.